Family, how you doing? This is Dr. Mark from Mark's Remarks. So, listen, it's been a long time since I've been on a official YouTube video, and so much has happened since the last time I posted. I think the last video I posted, I was in the library working on something. So the dissertation is done. I am doctor now. Can you believe it? We went on this journey together and it was amazing. Um, Currently a high school principal still. I was, you know that. Um, some wonderful things have happened with being cited by New York State for having one of the highest graduation rates for males of color in the state. And when we talk about having one of the highest graduation rates for males of color, when we look at the research, here's why it's so important, especially for black and African American males. And let me be clear, when I say black, I'm a lot of times people say African American and they sum up African American and black as if, they're one and the same. I'm not attempting to cause a division in the black community. I'm just saying when we look at black, we have to be very particular about culture. And I say that to say this. So I'm Haitian American. So the values that, what I was taught in my household may not perfectly align with the values of my brother who was taught in a completely American household. And it might not be the same values of my brother who is from Jamaica or my brother who is from, the Bahamas. Um, so, although we may all have the same hue, and then we'll say, well, that person's black, that person's African American. So we just completely hit them with a broad stroke and say they're all black and all African Americans. Is not necessarily true. So when we talk about black, we're talking about anyone from the African diaspora. We're talking about anybody that um, Bahamas, Jamaica, if you're from the continent of Africa and you came here, first generation American. We're talking about African Americans. So when I say black, I'm including everybody that is black or brown. But what's important is that as leaders, when we're looking to increase the graduation rate, we're not just looking at one group from one particular lens. We're not just saying, oh, that person is black or that person is African American because they're brown skin. That young person that looks black and speaks completely good English might be from the Dominican Republic. And what's taught in the home and the food that's ate in the home is not the same as my brother who is from Miami, Florida. Things might just be a little bit different. But when we're dealing with that young man, it's important that we are respectful of their culture. The way we do that is we simply attempt to get to know that culture by asking questions. Who are you? Where are you from? So when we talk about increasing graduation rates for African American and males of color, I think the first key step is to understand that everybody has a background, everybody has a story, everybody is coming to the table with something. And as leaders, teachers, administrators of the building, it's so imperative that we get to know the story of the young person, of the young man that we have in front of us. So we got cited for having one of the highest graduation rates for males of color in the state of New York. Um, Nationally, the graduation rate for black males is about 59%. There's about a 21% graduation gap between white and black males. Um, the reason why I'm making that comparison is just because white males in the male population have the highest graduation rate. Um, with that gap that is so profound, typically when you go and look in large urban districts, what you will find is that although the national average is 59%, when you look at big urban districts that have 100,000 kids or more, oftentimes you see graduation rates for black males at 25%, 30%, 35%. Over these next few um, sessions that we're going to have, I'm going to really try to dig and delve deep and try to give you some powerful strategies. But we really have to dismiss this notion right away that, you know, this narrative that's out there, and that it really infuriates me as a leader, as a parent, as a father, as a practitioner, as a researcher, that the reason why black males are not graduating from high school is because of their parents. Oftentimes, when I travel around the country and I talk to leaders all over the country, and we have this dialogue, even parents. I mean, the main reason why we cite that black males are not graduating from high school is that we say, well, it's the parents. If a district has about 100,000 kids and there's a graduation rate for black males at about 25%, it's hard for me to say 75% of the parents of black male students do not want their kid to graduate, or are not in tune, or don't care about their son's education. Um, and seemingly that has been the narrative so long that when there's even a question on why kids are not performing, that is like the number one response. Um, and it's so frustrating to hear. So, you know, my school is open from about 7:15 in the morning, and we probably won't. Sometimes there's kids in the building till about 8:15 at night. So imagine if you're a kid that comes to the building at 7:15 in the morning, and because you got basketball practice, football practice, or whatever, a game, and it's not an everyday thing, but our district does a phenomenal job with keeping our buildings open. And then you're leaving at 8:15. You've been at the school for about 13 hours. You have spent a significant amount of time with us at the school. We have to take onus and ownership as leaders and as educators that kids' success is on us. Now, I understand if a young person is not showing up to school, I get that. But if a young person has a 90% attendance, 95% attendance, um, we have to own that as leaders, that this notion that the reason why kids are not excelling in school, to just quickly dismiss it as, oh, it's the parents' fault, seems a bit um, you know, it, it's disheartening to say the least. So I think as educators, the key that I try to drive myself on is that I take responsibility for the school, good or bad, good, bad, or ugly. I put the weight on my shoulders, but I distribute the weight because we're all in this together. Um, so when we talk about increasing the graduation rate for black males, and I know this is a little bit of a turn because I was talking about what happened this year and the kind of successes we've had, but I really had to kind of drill down on that point that it's going to be so important, and especially this year, 2020, as we're looking to have more success in our schools. Listen, we're trying to have success for our schools, not for accolade leaders. I mean, we- our kids and the students that come to our schools, their lives depend on what the education they get. Education is still the number one catalyst for financial freedom and success in the real world. So it's so important that we provide our young people with um, the the best opportunities possible. So this YouTube channel, as we go forward, we're going to really be digging deep and then maybe having some interviews with some folks about what do we need to do to increase the graduation rate for males of color, black males, Latino males, and then how those strategies not only just impact black males, but they impact all students. So we earned a doctorate this year. That was phenomenal. Probably, well, last year. Um, I've been able to tour around New York State talking about the success we've had at our school. Um, and then there's I'm writing a book currently, and there's going to be a lot of journal articles that will be coming out shortly on really helping move the academy in the right direction with regards to graduation rates for males of color. So stay tuned. 2020 is going to be a big year. I want you to be there with me. Share this, retweet it, post it, Facebook it, whatever you do. And I'm going to try to give you as much energy. Hold me accountable. Um, Maybe if we could do, let's try to start off slow. So we do 2 to 3 videos a month. That could take us out to what would that be for my? If I did 3, that'd be what, 36 videos, 2020. So let's try that. If you want more content, if you want more, put comments in the comment box. I promise I'll get back to you. And I'm just gonna keep trying to go and give you as much energy as possible. Talk to you when I'm on the road. Kind of share with you what we're doing. I spent a lot of time this year on Facebook and Instagram. Um, Not sure if it yielded me um, what we're looking for, but social media is a very, I'm not really a social media person, even though I do it, but it's very, very uh, difficult to manage at times, controlling the what you put out and having fresh content. So for you folks who do social media, and you do it well, I tip my hat off to you. You're doing wonderful work. So again, this is Dr. Mark from Marck's Remarks. I love you. Until next time, peace.